on WISN 12 News.
More fallout this morning to President Trump's comments about Charlottesville, the local professor who says he agrees with the commander-in-chief. Plus, voting on a multi-billion-dollar deal that impacts Wisconsin, the next hurdle for the Foxconn factory happening today. More on the incentives, adding up to more than $3 billion. Powerball fever just heating up, the odds of winning more than $500 million, and the locals who are already waking up winners this morning. Plus, close call right there. That's me being startled by a velociraptor, the dinosaur making its way through the 12 newsroom, surprising everyone, breaking stuff. We'll explain where you can go to see her for yourself coming up. But first, Weather Watch 12, rain moving through this morning. Sally, the heavy stuff's gone now, though, right?
That's right. We had a little round of heavier rain this morning in a window between about 4:30 and about 6 o'clock. Most of that has moved out over Lake Michigan, but it's all about the counterclockwise rotation around low pressure that's going to make a move off to the north and the east, but we still have a few showers in the forecast. They'll wrap around that low and roll by during the day today. This is not an all-day rain, and in fact, we may even see a few peaks of sunshine. But you can see thunder still right up through the Door Peninsula at this time, well to our north. Showers for us much of the rest of the day will be spotty as that low pressure pulls off and away. We're going to be warm and humid with breezy south winds. Look at these temperatures, 70 or better. Right now, 70 at Waukesha, 70 at Greendale, and we have readings that will climb into the low to mid 80s for today. So, Andy, grab an umbrella, but it's going to be warm and humid. You can leave the jacket at home.
All right, Sal, thank you very much. At least 5 tornadoes formed last night in Minnesota. This video comes from Nicolay, just outside the Twin Cities. The storms uprooting trees, damaging homes in its path. We are still waiting to learn how strong these tornadoes were. So far, thankfully, no one has reported any injuries. Wisconsin counties hit hard by flooding last month will not be able to count on money from FEMA for help. More than 8 inches of rain fell on parts of southeast Wisconsin, causing flash floods. A preliminary assessment by the Federal Emergency Management Agency found the damage would not meet the threshold for individual assistance, but the state as a whole would be eligible for help from the Small Business Administration. Time now 6:33, a wet morning drive. We've already seen some rain and some incidents out there. Matt Salemi breaking it all down here.
Yeah, we got a crash out there that's causing some problems. It's on 43 southbound. It's a semi. You can see it's off in the ditch still. They've got a crane truck there, and they're trying to pull that back up onto the freeway. Got the right lane blocked, and so that's causing some delays back to Brown Deer Road. Brown Deer Road on-ramp also closed, and if you look at one of the alternates there, Lake Drive, right there along the lakefront, you can see stop-and-go delays now there along that stretch. Get on south of Good Hope Road. Now, in addition to the wet pavement, a big construction project kicking off this week. Starting this week, crews are working on polymer bridge deck overlays at the Marquette Interchange. Day and night lane restrictions along with overnight ramp closures are going to be occurring. Most of it will be off-peak work like middays and overnights, and some of the work will actually take place on weekends, so keep an eye out for that.
All right, thank you, Matt, for breaking it all down there. Later today, voting on a multi-billion-dollar deal. Members of the State Assembly will vote on whether to approve a $3 billion incentive package for the company. Foxconn is planning to build a massive manufacturing facility in Wisconsin with up to 13,000 jobs. Now, earlier this week, an Assembly committee voted to approve the incentives. Governor Walker says he expects the bill to pass and to be signed into law by the end of the summer. Meanwhile, the governor is touting Foxconn's benefits during an invite-only roundtable in Green Bay yesterday. The governor said a Foxconn plant would attract suppliers that would create their own jobs. Critics say the governor is making a mistake in offering $3 billion in financial incentives to a multi-billion-dollar company and are suspicious of the rushed timeline.
This is about Governor Walker running for governor in 2018 and want to put that feather in his cap saying, I created jobs, because he has failed in a 250,000 job promise by, well, 60, 70,000 jobs.
So at this point, Governor Walker's budget proposal is more than a month behind schedule, but he did say he expects it to be signed into law before the end of the summer. Thousands gathering last night for a candlelight vigil at the University of Virginia, days after violent clashes in Charlottesville led to the death of a woman during a white supremacist rally. Meanwhile, President Trump facing more fallout over his response to the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia. 12 News' Nicole Killian is in Washington with new details.
Andy, we don't expect to see or hear much from President Trump today as he conducts meetings behind closed doors. The president has mostly stayed out of sight since he made those remarks, blaming both sides for the violence in Charlottesville. Many are speaking out, from former presidents like the Bushes to the military and corporate leaders, forcing the president to disband 2 of his councils. The vice president says he stands with the president, but wouldn't say if he agrees with his comments.
We will not allow the few to divide the many. The strength of the United States of America is always strongest, as the president has said so eloquently, when we are united.
The vice president is cutting his Latin American trip short today to return to the U.S. for meetings with the president tomorrow at Camp David in Washington. Nicole Killian, WISN 12 News.
Nicole, thank you. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett sounding off about the president's remarks. He answered questions outside City Hall yesterday, saying that hatred is not acceptable in Wisconsin or anywhere. He also accused the president of emboldening hate groups.
Mr. President, it's not a white Constitution. We are not the white United States. I'm calling on every elected official at every level of government to condemn his words.
And when asked about white supremacist groups pledging to rally in other cities, Barrett said simply they are not welcome here. Meanwhile, a Twitter post from the Milwaukee County Republican Party is sparking some controversy. The tweet went out hours after President Trump's latest remarks about the violence in Virginia, using an image featuring a Confederate flag. The message reads, "Democrats haven't been this mad at Republicans since we freed their slaves." Might want to spell check the meme there. The state Republican Party did not respond to our request for comment.
But some of them were spoiling for a fight. And again, on the other side, the Nazis and the Klansmen, they were all ready for a fight, too.
A suspended Marquette professor reacts to the violence in Charlottesville. John McAdams spoke exclusively with WISN 12 before his presentation about free speech on college campuses. He tells Ben Hutchison he agrees with President Trump's statements in the days after.
In the basement of Mayfair Mall, Dr. John McAdams talked to Wauwatosa Republicans about why he believes free speech for conservatives is limited on college campuses.
All of it comes down to identity politics, the idea that your rights and your standing depend on your victim status. The more you can claim to be a victim, the more rights you have.
Marquette suspended Dr. McAdams indefinitely after he posted a blog critical of another instructor who had prevented a student from speaking out in class against same-sex marriage. Because of differences in opinion over what should be considered free speech, the political science professor watched what unfolded in Charlottesville this past weekend.
Frankly, I agree with Donald Trump. There's hatred on both sides. Okay, the neo-Nazis had every right to a rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. That's what the First Amendment says. That's what the ACLU believed.
Dr. McAdams says both sides were looking for a fight, and law enforcement should have done a better job of keeping them apart. As for what he would like to see on college campuses going forward when it comes to free speech,
if more faculty who believe in free speech would in fact speak out, that would make a difference. But on university campuses, conservatives tend to keep their heads down.
In Wauwatosa, Ben Hutchison, WISN 12 News.
As for Dr. McAdams, a judge sided with Marquette, saying it was within their rights to suspend him. McAdams sued, but a court dismissed his claims. He's hoping to one day get his job back at the university. A Brookfield woman wants the city to buy her house after she says a public works project damaged it so much that she is in danger.
I'm afraid this could just take a slide, and I don't want to be in here when that would happen.
Dr. Helen Pauley says a water main project done by the city has caused her house to shift, creating cracks in the walls, gaps between doors and door frames, gas leaks as well. Pauley says she spent thousands on independent engineering reports, which found the project caused an excessive increase in groundwater under her property. She is now suing the city, whose insurer told us he had no comment about it. And now to Traffic Watch 12, an alert for anyone who drives through downtown Milwaukee. Chris Swaim, live now near Wells and Broadway with what you need to know this morning. Chris.
Hey, Andy, that's right. This intersection is actually closed today to eastbound and westbound traffic. You can see behind me, they have a lot of barriers set up and crews are underway. This is the the streetcar construction project that's been going up. Starting this morning, the intersection is shutting down to eastbound and westbound traffic. This will last about 2 weeks, and at some point, the intersection will close to drivers headed in all directions. There are several areas under construction right now. There is some good news, though. Just yesterday, the intersection of Jackson and Juneau reopened, but work continues in other downtown locations and on the east side, so be on the lookout for orange barrels. The streetcar is expected to be up and running by the fall of 2018, so we're looking forward to that. Just a few months away, or just a little over a year away. But for now, I'm live in downtown Milwaukee. Chris Swain, WISN 12 News.
All part of the changing face of downtown. Chris, thank you very much. Saturday's Powerball jackpot now stands at more than $500 million. That's after no one hit it big in last night's drawing. But that doesn't mean everyone came up short, though. 12 News' Hillary Mintz live in Tosa to explain there's a winner out there.
There is, Andy. In fact, right here in Wauwatosa, a business sold a ticket worth $50,000. Maybe it was a gas station, maybe a Pick and Save. We're going to find out later, but we're here live at 84th and Blue Mound this morning. Now, for the rest of us, look, let's just do this together, people. This is what we're doing now because, you know what? The drawing is over. We've got another chance on Saturday, so we're keeping hope alive. The drawing now reaches over $500 million. I want to put things in perspective for you, though, because I'm just going to keep it real. The odds are 1 in 292 million for this Saturday's jackpot. And the odds of getting struck by lightning, 1 in a million. Having identical quadruplets, 1 in 15 million. Becoming a movie star, 1 in about 500,000. Becoming an astronaut, 1 in 12 million, and winning an Olympic gold medal, 1 in 662,000. So those odds looking a little bit better for you. But hey, it's always fun to play. It's $2 for a ticket, $3 if you do the power play. And Andy, it's just, it's just fun to think about. I've had my eye on a private island all to myself for the last couple of these drawings. So that's what I've been looking at during the course of the show here, just thinking about which specific tropical island and which specific tropical drink I'm going to have first when I win. So cheers.
There you
Andy,
go.
we'll send it back to you.
Cheers to you, and of course you'll throw a work party for us on the island, right?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Hillary, thank you. Hey, later today, it's a party along Milwaukee's lakefront, Celtic style. Those are some dancers right there. Irish Fest back at Henry Meyer Festival Park. Gates open at 5 this evening. There's a special $5 admission deal tonight, or free admission with the donation of school supplies. Kids under 12 are always free. Zoo a la carte gets underway today at the Milwaukee County Zoo. The zoo welcoming more than 25 restaurants and entertainment on several stages over the next 4 days. A la carte included with regular zoo admission. New this morning, the stars of Jurassic World are coming to life in a new exhibit at the Field Museum in Chicago. And one of those stars made their way to Milwaukee, right into our newsroom. Rumbles of a Jurassic newsroom visitor took quite a few of our 12 News colleagues by surprise.
You're standing there right underneath these dinosaurs in a way that you can observe them and see and interact with them in ways that you just really haven't been able to do before.
We got to meet Echo, one of the stars of Jurassic World, the exhibit at Chicago's Field Museum. Making her way to Milwaukee, enticing those who dare with an up-close and personal opportunity to stand toe-to-toe with a full-scale dinosaur.
Intern, here's your new assignment.
17 feet long, nose to tail, and about 7 or 8 feet tall, depending on whether she's snapping at you or chasing you.
Of course, inside our busy newsroom, even the rookies learn quickly the news never stops.
Interns. Fast-paced, certainly she could chase a story very well, right? But as far as the confines and the deadlines, I'm not sure how well she'll deal with those.
Yes, Bring Your Raptor to Work Day proved to be an event for the ages, 65 million years in the making. See, and that's what happens when you don't get your vacation request. You know, that's
Right, you holler about it, because that's where we go for Renee.
Yes. Now, now the exhibit runs until January 7th at the Field Museum in Chicago. Links and information for tickets and stuff we've got on our website, WISN.com. And a big thank you to Ivory Leonard, the actor who played the handler for this raptor, and the puppeteer inside the raptor, Brandon Coleman. What a job, huh?
All bent over in those little
over.
arms.
It was amazing to see them work.
And then the sound it makes is so good.
So you got to see it. It's in Chicago at the Field Museum. Very cool. All right, the Great Eclipse, just 5 days away now, coming up on 12 News this morning. If you can't find eclipse glasses, we've got some ways you can still safely see the show in the sky. And the first pitch at the Red Sox game misses the mark. The high school pitcher was going viral for his bad aim. Let's pull up our Traffic Watch 12 system. A handful of crashes are leading to delays. You can see there are some crashes turning flows into the red there, so please be very careful this morning if you're heading down to Milwaukee from the north. We'll have more on this traffic when we come back.